all of you experience the beautiful creations of God. We see the beautiful flowers in gardens at our home and public parks, etc. But how many of us have really looked very closely at the flower? You must have also tried to see the inside of a flower. There you must have noticed knob-like structures mounted on filaments. Did you ever notice any part that gathers pollens? Well, you must have wondered what these parts of the flower do. When we look at a flower, we are always curious about how these parts work together and what function they actually perform. So let us find out in detail about this beautiful creation of God, that is, the flowers.
Hello students, I welcome you to today's lesson about the reproductive parts of flowering plants. The kingdom Plantae accounts for the largest proportion of the Earth's biomass with its approximately 250,000 species of mosses, liverworts, ferns, flowers, bushes, trees and other plants. The flower is the reproductive unit in the angiosperms. It is meant for sexual reproduction. Plants ਦੇ ਇੰਨੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਗਰੁੱਪਸ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ flowering plants ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਫੈਲੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਨ. They bloom on every continent, from the bogs and marshes of the Arctic tundra to the barren soils of Antarctica. Flowers, plants ਦੇ reproductive structures ਹਨ, ਜੋ angiosperms group ਜਾਂ flowering plants ਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਮੂਹ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਨ. This group includes an enormous variety of different plants ranging from buttercups and orchids to oak trees and grasses. Flowers have come to occupy an irreplaceable significance in our life through various means. Flowers are vital parts of our culture, tradition, religion and literature. Basically, flower ਕਿਸੇ plant ਦਾ ਉਹ ਭਾਗ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੀਜ ਬਣਦੇ ਹਨ. In other words, we can say that flower is the reproductive organ of most seed-bearing plants. So, flower is defined as the reproductive structure of a flowering plant consisting of the pollen-shedding anthers and pollen-receiving stigma and usually have showy petals or tepals which function to attract pollinating insects or birds. The biological function of a flower is to mediate the union of male gametes with female gametes in order to produce seeds. The process begins with pollination, followed by fertilization, leading to the formation of seeds and then their dispersal. All flowers normally have 4 basic floral whorls: calyx, corolla, Androecium and Gynoecium. Calyx is the outermost whorl of the flower and the members of this whorl are called sepals. They are generally green and protect the flower in the bud stage. Corolla is composed of petals that are usually brightly colored to attract insects for pollination. Androecium is composed of stamens, which represent the male reproductive organs of the plant. Gynoecium is the female reproductive part of the flower and is made up of one or more carpels. Different flowers have different numbers and shapes of these floral parts. ਆਪਣੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ angiosperms ਵਿੱਚ reproductive structures, that is Androecium ਐਂਡ ਗਾਇਨੋਸ਼ੀਅਮ ਤੇ ਫੋਕਸ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਬੱਚਿਓ, ਚਲੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਰੀਪਰੋਡਕਟਿਵ ਆਰਗਨਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਡਿਟੇਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਚਰਚਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
Androecium. Androecium is the essential whorl present inner to petals, which consists of stamens or the male reproductive organs of the flower. The male parts of a flower consists of one or more stamens, and each stamen is made up of a knob-like structure called anther and a slender stalk like filament. Further, you can see that the minute rounded bodies known as pollen grains are produced by the anthers, which are generally orange or yellow in color. Each anther usually consists of two anther lobes connected by a connective.
Students, ਜੇਕਰ ਐਂਥਰ ਵਿੱਚ 2 ਲੋਬਸ ਹੋਣ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਡਾਇਥੀਕਸ ਐਂਥਰਸ ਕਹਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਨ, ਜਦਕਿ ਕੁਝ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਕਿਡਨੀ ਦੀ ਸ਼ੇਪ ਦਾ ਐਂਥਰ ਲੋਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਮੋਨੋਥੀਕਸ ਐਂਥਰ ਵਜੋਂ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਲਵੇਸੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਸੀ ਫਲਾਰ ਦੇ ਮੇਲ ਰੀਪਰੋਡਕਟਿਵ ਆਰਗਨ ਦੇ ਸਟਰਕਚਰ ਬਾਰੇ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਫਲਾਰ ਦੇ ਮੇਲ ਪਾਰਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਟੇਮਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਐਂਥਰ ਅਤੇ ਫਿਲਾਮੈਂਟ ਦਾ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। After this, we will focus on the forms of Androecium, which vary to a great extent in form and type.
Forms of Androecium. Polyandrous. If all the stamens in the androecium are free, then the stamens are known as polyandrous. Polyandrous condition is found in Brassica. Epipetalous. In this type, stamens adhere to the petals by their filaments and hence appearing to arise from them as shown in the visual. It is mostly found in gamopetalous corolla. Epipetalous condition is found in plants like Petunia, Solanum, and Ocimum. The next type of Androecium is epiphyllous. If the stamens are attached with tepals, as found in Asphodelus, the condition is known as epiphyllous. I hope you know about tepals. Tepals are free segments of a perianth that is not clearly differentiated into sepals and petals. The proper name for these undifferentiated petal-like parts is tepal. The next type of Androecium is gynandrous. In this type, stamens are united with the stigma of carpels, forming the gynoecium. This type of Androecium is common in Calotropis. Inserted and exerted types of stamens. If the stamens are shorter than corolla tube and remain hidden inside, it is known as inserted type of Androecium. But if the stamens are longer than the corolla tube and protrude outwards, it is known as exerted type of Androecium. Inserted type of stamens is common in Petunia, and exerted type is found in Acacia. The next forms are didynamous and tetradynamous. In didynamous type, out of the 4 stamens in a flower, 2 are long and 2 are short, as found in Ocimum. In tetradynamous type, Out of the 6 stamens in a flower, 2 outer are short and 4 inner are long. This type of condition is common in Brassica campestris. The next forms are alternipetalous and antipetalous. In this type, there is a single whorl of stamens. The number of stamens is equal to the number of the petals, and they alternate with the petal lobes as found in Solanum nigrum. In case of tepals, the condition is known as alternifilous. Antipetalous type is somewhat similar to alternipetalous type. The only difference between these two is that in antipetalous type, the stamens are present opposite to the petal lobes as in coriander. In case of tepals, this condition is known as antiphyllous. Next forms are diplostimonous and obdiplostimonous. In this diplostimonous type, stamens are double the number of petals and lie in 2 whorls. The outer whorl of stamens is alternating with petals, whereas the inner whorl is opposite to petals. Acacia and Murraya exotica possess this type of arrangement. Obdiplostimonous type is just the reverse of diplostimonous type. The outer whorl of stamens is opposite to petals, whereas the inner whorl is alternating with petals.
Students, the next form of stamens are isostemonous and heterostemonous. In isostemonous type, all the stamens in a flower are alike in shape, size and mode of dehiscence, etc. Whereas in heterostemonous type, stamens differ in shape, size and mode of dehiscence. Acacia possesses heterostemonous type of stamens. ਇਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਫਾਰਮਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਟੇਮਨਸ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਤੋਂ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ, ਪਰ ਕੁਝ ਫਲਾਵਰਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਟੇਮਨਸ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਉਹ ਫਾਰਮਸ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਟੇਮਨਸ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹਨ। Adelphus. In this type, the stamens are fused by their filaments, but the anthers are free. If the filaments of all the stamens are fused to form one group, they are termed as monoadelphous. Hibiscus rosa sinensis has monoadelphous stamens. When the filaments of all the stamens are fused to form two groups, they are termed as diadelphous. And if more than two groups are formed, the condition is known as polyadelphous. Pisum sativum has diadelphous stamens, and Citrus trifoliata possesses polyadelphous stamens. अगली form है Gynoecium. In this type, filaments are free and anthers of all the stamens of the flower unite to form a cylinder around the style, as in sunflower. Androecium, the last form है cylindrous. When both anthers as well as the filaments are fused throughout their whole length, the form is said to be cylindrous. Cucurbita and Phyllanthus possess cylindrous androecium. So, a subcohesion, adhesion, insertion, size ਅਤੇ stamens ਦੀ position ਤੇ ਆਧਾਰਿਤ androecium ਦੀਆਂ different forms ਸਨ. After studying these forms, We will discuss fixation of anthers on the filaments.
Basifixed. In this type, the filament is attached to the base of anthers as found in Brassica. The next type is adnate. When the filament is continued from the base to the apex of anther, it is known as adnate. Magnolia, verbena, and buttercup have adnate type of anthers. The next type is dorsifixed. In this type, the filament is attached to the dorsal side of the anther as found in citrus and passiflora. The last type is versatile. Anther is said to be versatile when the filament is attached to the back of the anther so that anther can swing freely in the air. This type is found in bottlebrush and grasses.
Students, this was all about the Androecium. Male reproductive part ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਫੀਮੇਲ reproductive part ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ Gynoecium ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਨ. Let us discuss it.
Gynoecium. Gynoecium is the term for the innermost or central whorl of the floral appendages, that is, the carpels. The female reproductive part, that is carpel, consists of the stigma, style, and ovary. A carpel is often termed as pistil. A pistil may consist of a number of carpels merged together. The sticky tip of the pistil, the stigma, is the receptor of pollen grains. The stigma may be lobed, funnel-shaped, branched, or feathery. The ovary is a basal, swollen portion of the pistil and contains one or more chambers or loculi, and accordingly, the ovary is known as unilocular, bilocular, trilocular, or multilocular. These loculi contain one or more ovules. From the ovary extends a tubular structure called the style, meant for raising the stigma. The style becomes the pathway for growing pollen tube to reach the ovules carrying the reproductive material.
ਬੱਚਿਓ, ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਸੀ ਫਲਾਰ ਦੇ ਫੀਮੇਲ ਰਿਪਰੋਡਕਟਿਵ ਸਟਰਕਚਰ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਲੈਕਟਿਵਲੀ ਗਾਇਨੋਸ਼ੀਅਮ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਨ. ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਟਿਗਮਾ, ਸਟਾਈਲ ਅਤੇ ਓਵਰੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ. ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਾਰਮਸ ਆਫ ਗਾਇਨੋਸ਼ੀਅਮ ਤੇ ਫੋਕਸ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨੰਬਰ ਅਤੇ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਜਾਂ ਯੂਨਾਈਟਿਡ ਕਾਰਪਲਸ ਦੇ ਆਧਾਰ ਤੇ ਕਲਾਸੀਫਾਈ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ. Let us study these various forms.
Forms of Gynoecium. When there is a single carpel in a gynoecium as found in P, it is termed as monocarpellary. If the number of carpels in the gynoecium is 2, 3, 4, and 5, it is said to be bicarpellary, tricarpellary, tetracarpellary, and pentacarpellary respectively. When gynoecium contains more than 5 carpels as found in papaver, it is termed as polycarpellary. Depending on cohesion of carpels, gynoecium can be distinguished into 2 types: apocarpus, syncarpus. Gynoecium is said to be apocarpus when there are 2 or more carpels in a gynoecium which are free from each other. Ranunculus and aconitum possess this type of gynoecium. When the two or more carpels are fused together to form a single compound ovary, then the gynoecium is said to be syncarpous. Petunia and Althea have this type of gynoecium.
Students, the fusion of carpels may take place in different ways. Carpels may be fused only in the region of the ovary, but their stigma and style may be completely free, as in pink. ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ stigmas free ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ, ਜਦਕਿ ovary ਅਤੇ styles fused ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ, ਜਿਵੇਂ China rose ਵਿੱਚ, ਪਰ Petunia and Solanum ਵਿੱਚ ਇਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਤਿੰਨੋਂ ਭਾਗਾਂ ਦੇ fusion ਦੀ possibility ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ. So, the bottom line is that fusion of carpel varies to a great extent and has different forms. So students, we have discussed about the reproductive parts of a typical flower, their various forms and the functions. Well students, with this we conclude our today's lesson. Let us summarize all that we have learned so far. Flower is defined as the reproductive structure of a flowering plant consisting of the pollen shading anthers and pollen receiving stigma, and usually have showy petals or tepals which function to attract pollinating insects or birds. The biological function of a flower is to mediate the union of male gametes with female gametes in order to produce seeds. The process begins with pollination, is followed by fertilization, leading to the formation and dispersal of the seeds. Male reproductive parts of the flower are the stamens, collectively termed as Androecium, and the female part is the carpel. Often the carpel is referred to as the pistil. Carpels are collectively termed as the gynoecium. The male part of a flower consists of one or more stamens, and each stamen is made up of a knob-like structure called anther and a slender stalk-like filament. Pollen grains are produced by the anthers, which are the orange or yellow structures often seen in the center of a flower. When there are two lobes in the anther, it is described as a dithecous anther, whereas in certain cases, only one kidney-shaped anther lobe is there. It is known as monothecous anther. Androecium has many forms, which vary to a great extent and are of different types. If all the stamens in the Androecium are free, then the stamens are known as polyandrous. Polyandrous condition is found in Brassica. In epipetalous type, stamens adhere to the petals by their filaments and hence appear to arise from them. In didynemous type, out of the 4 stamens in a flower, 2 are long and 2 are short, as found in Ocimum. In tetradynemous type, out of the 6 stamens in a flower, 2 outer are short and 4 inner are long. This type of condition is common in Brassica campestris. There are different forms of gynoecium, which are classified on the basis of number and free or united carpels. In a monocarpellary condition, gynoecium comprises of a single carpel, as in P. Bicarpellary comprises of 2 carpels, as in bean plant. Multicarpellary comprises of many carpels, as found in papaver. Depending on cohesion of carpels, Gynoecium is said to be apocarpous. If Gynoecium comprises of two or more free carpels, as in Ranunculus and Syncarpus, if Gynoecium comprises of two or more fused carpels, as found in Hibiscus. ਬੱਚਿਓ, ਅੱਜ ਲਈ ਇੰਨਾ ਹੀ। ਚਲੋ ਇੱਕ ਟੈਸਟ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਦੇ ਰਿਗਾਰਡਿੰਗ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰੀਏ। Be attentive. Here are some questions. Question: define a flower. Answer: a flower is defined as the reproductive structure of a flowering plant consisting of the pollen-shedding anthers and pollen-receiving stigma, and usually have showy petals or tepals which function to attract pollinating insects or birds. Next question. Name the 4 basic whorls of a flower. Answer: all flowers have 4 basic whorls: calyx, corolla, Androecium and Gynoecium. My next question is, define didynamous and tetradynamous forms of Androecium. Answer: in didynamous type, out of 4 stamens in a flower, 2 are long and 2 are short, as found in Ocimum. In tetradynamous type, out of the 6 stamens in a flower, 2 outer are short and the 4 inner are long. This type is common in Brassica campestris. Next question. Name the plant with polyandrous stamens. The answer is Brassica has polyandrous stamens. Question. In which form of Androecium Gynoecium is formed? Answer. Gynoecium is formed in gynandrous
type of Androecium.
The next question is, what type of stamens are found in Hibiscus rosa sinensis? Answer. Monoadelphous stamens are found in Hibiscus rosa sinensis. The next question is, what is apocarpous Gynoecium? Answer. Gynoecium is said to be apocarpous when there are 2 or more carpels in a Gynoecium, which are free from each other. Ranunculus and Aconitum possesses this type of Gynoecium. The next question is, name 2 plants in which Syncarpus type of Gynoecium is found. Answer. In Petunia and Althea, Syncarpus type of Gynoecium is found. Next question. What is polycarpellary Gynoecium? Answer. When Gynoecium contains more than 5 carpels, as found in papaver, it is termed as polycarpellary. Hope I have made a successful attempt to clear your concepts regarding reproductive parts of flower, that is Androecium and Gynoecium, which will help you in fetching good marks in the exam. Thanks for your cooperation and attention. Looking forward to the next class. See you then. Thanks.